Hey everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to a wrap-up of the first official Record Store Meetup event. Yes, this thing was a success. It was really good. I had a blast at it. I think a lot of people that came out did as well. And so hopefully you got a chance to see the experience video that I posted a couple days back. If you didn't, I'm going to leave a link in the description for that. But so much more stuff happened at the event that I didn't get film footage of to be able to put in there. So I thought I would do a little wrap-up party kind of thing here. We would talk about it and I could give you guys some behind the scenes stuff on it. So it took place at Sound Exchange, which is a phenomenal record store, currently my favorite one out there, located at 1482 NJ23 in Wayne, New Jersey. And if you didn't get a chance to come out, but you do live local, make sure you hit up the record store. It is totally worth it. But right off the bat, I want to thank Anthony, the store owner. I also want to thank the staff, Bob and Ted, who came out to help with this. And also Chris Profi, my co-host from the CD and Vinyl Guys. He came out to take part in this as well. So I definitely want to give a big shout out to all of them for their support and help in putting this event on. And so right off the bat, we kicked off, like we said, at 10 a.m. People started trickling in right away, which was cool. I didn't quite know what to expect and how this would all go, but pretty quickly, before we knew it, we had 20 people who had turned up from my channel, no less. So, I mean, these are people that I met directly. They introduced themselves. I know they came out because of the channel. But the thing is, there were a lot of other people coming in as well. To be quite honest, I got involved with everything that was going on and I lost count very quickly early on about how many people actually came into this thing. I know that we had store regulars who came in to stop by and wanted to know what was going on, and a quick shout out to Brian, who I met, had some great conversations with him. And then we had the Saturday crowd who trickled in as well. All of these people who came really helped to make this a robust event, and I can't be more thankful and more happy that that happened for this thing. And so right away we got off to what we wanted to do, which is shopping. I mean, to be quite honest, that's why we had all come out, to do some shopping. Certainly to be there though for the community aspect of it and everything. And I even managed to get some shopping in myself, and talked about these releases at the end of the experience video. So you can check in on that one to find out what I took home from there. You know, all in all, it was a pretty cool thing. We did lots of discussing, sharing of musical ideas. There were debates, musical recommendations. It was a pretty cool thing to be in a music store, having these discussions. Somebody recommends something, or you find out somebody else formed another band from whatever. And then you went over to that section and you were able to pull it out and get it if you wanted it. And so a lot of people were getting turned on to new bands, new artists, stuff like that. One of the bands that was new for me that came up in a conversation was Riverside. They're a Polish progressive metal band. And one of the staff members, Bob, he actually burned me a CD so I could take this home, check it out. I've been enjoying it all morning, so thank you, Bob. I really appreciate that, him going that extra step for me on it. Now I can go and explore this band in a much deeper way, and I totally plan on picking up some of their albums and whatnot now based on that. And one of the cool things that happened right off the bat was that one of my viewers came in and brought me a gift, which I totally wasn't expecting. And check this out, a new Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon t-shirt. I don't have this one, so thank you very much for that. His name unfortunately escapes me. If you were the one that gave me this shirt, please comment. Let me know it was you so I can thank you directly. It was a really, really nice gesture of you to do. And I wasn't expecting that. Just absolutely made my day. So thank you. You know, kind of the cherry on top with everything else that was happening. And while we had a wide range of people showing up, 4 or 5 people brought their kids. And we had the kids range from about 2 or 3 years old all the way up to 15. If there was anyone older than that, I don't know, but those were the ones that I was asking the ages of. And I had fun talking to them all. So I do want to talk specifically about a brother and sister that came in that were 11 and 15, and I apologize, their names escape me as well at this point. I met a lot of different people, but on top of that, I'm just really bad with names in general, so I do apologize for not being able to shout out to everyone based on their names. But they came with their dad, and they genuinely wanted to be there. They're into the same kind of music and stuff. The brother was actually buying Tears for Fears, Shout, A Very Best Of, and Kiss en masse, which I thought was really great because the Kiss album is such an underrated album. A lot of people don't like it, but this was one that he was choosing to buy, not based on anything else except he had heard it and he liked it. And that was pretty cool there. And even the littlest one who attended, and I think she was maybe 2 or 3 years old, and while her dad had to bribe her with ice cream to get her to go, she had a great time too. And get this, she found an Iron Maiden Eddie action figure, one of those reaction type figures. She was super excited that she had found a toy and that it glowed in the dark. So I thought that was really cool that even she was having a blast at this thing. So ages range from probably somewhere between 2 years old on up to 72, and truly a great experience with, across different generations and stuff like that, all sharing in the same thing, music, the one thing that we all love. And I think that's a great thing to pause on and think about for just a second, that music can bridge not only generations and ages and all that sort of stuff, but just across the board. It can bring people together, and that's what kind of an event we were having at this meetup here. Totally proved to be what we had hoped that it would be. Now, about halfway through, which was around 11 a.m., we got the Q&A session started, and that was with myself, Chris, and Anthony, the store owner. And again, we absolutely had a blast doing it. Check that video out. You're going to see us just actually laughing and cracking up and having a great time with it. There were some really fun questions that were asked, and we took a lot of tangents too within it, which I think really helped sort of enliven everything up with all of that. And I was happy that the crowd got involved with it, commenting, throwing out questions, stuff like that as well. There was a few that I wasn't able to hit on from you, the viewers, who sent stuff in, and I thought I would finish those up right now very quickly here. John Crutchfield had a question that was specific for Anthony and wants to know the most expensive vinyl album in the store. I didn't get to that one, and I apologize. I am going to ask Anthony, and I will follow up and let you know. And one of our future ones that I have been filming with Anthony, we will answer that just for you. Kyle had a question in here and wanted to know which debut album released in 2022 stands out the most for us. And during the Q&A, I could not think of this band's name, but it was iconic. So I talked about them, one of the Frontiers Records projects. We got Tommy Aldridge, Joel Hoekstra, Nathan James, Michael Sweet, Marco Mendoza in here. And a lot of these Frontiers record projects, things that are put together, don't really interest me. I love all of the musicians, but then the material that's written for them doesn't really intrigue me. I like it when bands write their own material. That's what Iconic did here. They did have that person, Alessandro Del Vecchio, who does a lot of the writing, but he was co-writing with them on this here. So that's one of my favorite ones there that came out. And I know both Chris and Anthony threw some out there too. So then we also have another question on here from Jeremy Dicker, who had a question that was for everyone, but from the news reports, it appears Poison is stealing the show from the stadium tour. And I want to know if we agreed with that. And I don't know where everyone else stands, but I would say that's what I'm hearing too. Now, I haven't seen the show, so I can't really comment on it to that degree. But it certainly sounds that way, and I don't really know why that would be. I would think, if anything, maybe Motley Crue would, just simply because they're kind of back after having retired and whatnot. Def Leppard certainly seems to be, picking up a lot of news and promotion and everything from it as well. I know they're doing well. So, but I have heard a lot about Poison. But then, they haven't been on the road in quite some time either. So it's probably a factor of all of those sort of things in there. But yeah, that's what I'm hearing as well. And hey, more power to them. I'd love for them to then stick around around and do more tours. If nothing else, though, I really love some new material from Poison. It has been so long since we've got any new original material from them. All right, and then we've got Greatest Music Fan on here. He had a couple questions for me. Wants to know if I like any newer modern bands. Now, you know, it's a debate whether we call this a newer modern band because all of the musicians that are in there are from older groups, from most of them from back in the 80s. Nathan James, I think, is a younger musician. But, you know, we got guys in here from Stryper and White Snake and Night Ranger and so forth, Thin Lizzy. So quite the lineup there. But yeah, occasionally I do get into some more modern bands. For me, Ghost was, I consider a modern band. It's also questionable about where it is that you cut off. If we're talking about a band just in the last few years, I don't necessarily have a brand new one like that per se. But in the last 10 to 20 years, yes, I do follow some different bands that are more modern in that regard, not going back as far as the 80s or 70s, 40, 50 years back. So I do follow some more newer modern bands. Maybe I'll do a whole video just separate of those sorts of things. And then the last one on here, what is your favorite glam metal band? And that's kind of a hard one because you really have to get into and define, well, what is glam metal? And, bands like Def Leppard and Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses, they were all glam metal bands, even though they've kind of risen above that. But if we just stay sort of strictly with what was a glam metal band, I'd probably say Poison. But Rat is another one, and again, they were sort of teetering on that, whether they were fully in it or not, kind of a thing. But I love all of those there. But the full-on makeup, teased hair, glam metal, bands that embraced it, Poison would be that band, I think, kind of thing. So those were the ones I didn't get to. Hopefully you enjoyed that little bit there, wrapping that up. Following the Q&A, we gave away some CDs. There were 2 bundles of 4 CDs each. We gave away a classic rock bundle, an 80s rock bundle. These were all CDs from my collection, ones I had duplicates of, either because an album had been remastered or it was a digipack and I replaced it with a jewel case edition, that sort of stuff. Or like in the case of the Steve Perry Traces, a deluxe edition one came out a few months after it had come out with 5 bonus tracks on it. So I no longer needed a 10-track one because I had a 15-track one. So things like that. So I've got a box full of CDs like that at future Record Store Meetup events. I plan to do more of that sort of stuff. I'd love being able to give back to you guys. In the past, I've given some away. We've done some things like that through the channel. Maybe I'll get back to doing some of that as well. But yeah, some more of that. Then we gave away a $50 gift certificate. And I mean, who couldn't use some extra money when shopping for music, right? And we gave it away in the middle because I wanted to make sure that people could actually, anyone who wanted could use it towards what they were buying for the day. This was not a thing where you had to return or something, because I know some people drove in pretty far coming for it. And what was really cool is this. Now, didn't happen on the Record Store Meetup on Saturday, but on Friday I was in there, and I think his name was Kirk, and I apologize if I'm getting it wrong, drove down from Toronto, Canada, 7 hours just to visit the store. He had seen the videos about the store and things like that. He watches my channel, and he was so impressed with the store, he drove 7 hours down. And I asked him about sticking around. He wasn't able to stick around. He had to drive back that night. So 7 hours down, 7 hours back, 14-hour drive just to hit up a record store. How cool is that? That is totally music, right? That is a love for music. And I know a lot of us feel that same way, and we can share in that and be amazed, but at the same time, totally understand it and get it. I wonder if his wife and kids totally understand and get it. Now, I know they were on a trip. They were gone. I think he said they were traveling to Italy. So, who knows if they even know. But anyway, that was really cool. And so after that, it was back to more shopping, music discussions, and just sharing in the one thing that we all love, music. And so, like I said at the beginning of this, all in all, this was very successful. I'm really glad I was able to put on this event. Again, I want to thank Anthony and Sound Exchange, along with his staff, Bob and Ted, for helping with this. And certainly, shout out to Chris Prophy, who took part in this with me as well. We all had so much fun at this thing, and I hope those that attended did as well. And for those of you that are watching this, you're enjoying the videos and the things that came out of it, even though you couldn't attend. And if you weren't able to attend this one, and because we had so much fun doing it, we're already looking forward to the next one. And it's going to take place in about 2 months on Saturday, October 8th. So put it in your calendar, start planning for that. If you normally work on Saturdays, take the day off. If you haven't made a trip to New York City in a while, plan to come down and do that, and then head over to Wayne, New Jersey. We're going to do it again at Sound Exchange. Yeah, mark your calendars. I hope to see you there. And thanks for being a part of this first official Record Store Meetup event. All right, everyone, take care. Have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.